Why is this chewing driving you mad? If you can relate to this, then this video is for you. You want to stay around because we're going to talk about why this is happening to you and what you're feeling inside. Let me start by describing a scene. You're sitting at the dinner table and your partner or your loved one is across from you and chewing away. And you're just staring at them going, would they just not chew like that? And if you say something, you know it's going to erupt in an argument, or the other person's going to feel like, what's going on? Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Now, this is not rational, right? But you are a rational person. You're a reasonable, smart person. But why is this happening? And we want to look at it a little bit deeper. Clinical diagnosis for this, which is called misophonia. It means the hatred of sound. When you experience this, they say that you would experience anger, disgust, like a fight or flight experience. In all of this, you just emotionally don't feel well. What the women I work with tell me is that they were just fine. There was no problems. They were functioning normally. The tolerance level was just fine as it is in a household that you live with other people, and the behaviors and the sounds that other people make. It was all just normal. Then something shifted around their 40s, like especially around 45, 46, 48, around that time, when the volume of everything just seemed to be someone just turned it up inside. And now everything you're sensitive to. You're hypersensitive, hyper vigilant to the sounds, the light, the touch of somebody that you truly loved. It's just unbearable. So, what's going on? Even maybe before, none of the tags in your clothes bothered you, but that's starting to bother you now too. And, or even your partner putting their hand gently on your shoulder. It's like, oh my gosh, get it off. How do you deal with this when everything becomes too much? The place where women usually completely lose themselves is when they start to pull away from their partners, their loved ones, their children, become a little bit more distant and disconnected at work with their colleagues and their performance. They're trying to do their best and bring forth all their energy and efforts, but inside they're becoming depleted. So she usually ends up going to the doctor, and nobody tells her why this is really happening. It's usually like, you're just getting old, or this is normal. Oh, you're just hitting this time of life, and you're just going to have to get through it. The doctor runs some lab reports, and everything comes back normal. She visits her therapist, and the therapist says, oh, these are the things you dealt with in your childhood. Maybe these are things coming up now because, you're at this age, or whatever it is. Or maybe she even gets a meditation app and starts to join yoga classes and things like that, which helps a little bit, but not so much, because it's not really addressing the real problem as to why am I feeling like this. So, what are you trying to pacify if you don't know what the exact problem is that's going on? I mean, you're just dealing with the symptoms, but the root cause of like what's happening is what we want to talk about here. Now, in my last video, I touched upon Ayurveda and we spoke about Vata and Pitta doshas. These are mind body types. And basically, in Ayurveda, how we look at this is it's based on the five elements of earth, water, fire, air, and space. And whatever you see out there, it is also present in your bodies. And so I'm going to make another video on what is Ayurveda and how it breaks down. But for the purpose of what we're trying to achieve here is to, uh, find you in all of this. Let's talk about what exactly the Vata dosha is, what it does. So it has to do with the air and space elements, and it has to do with your nervous system, the sleep that you have, insomnia, and the way the electrical impulses move around in your body. When something happens, how you react to things. This is all air and space. And the fire element is like where you get hot flashes. Hot flashes because the fire energy regulates your body temperature. It regulates your willpower, how fast you move, your drive, your motivation, all of these things. I mean, how much research is done on where does motivation come from? And in Ayurveda, if you understand these elements, you'll understand that it's the drive, the fire that you have inside that propels you to move forward and to achieve things. And most of these high achieving women are very successful because they use this pitta fire to move forward. But guess what else happens to them? They have a lot of stomach and gut issues, like irritable bowels. and diarrhea, constipation, or something going on because they just don't feel well in the solar plexus. And we'll talk about that too in another video because it's a lot to talk about here. And that's why we want to build this community out so we can talk about this and share each other's issues and what has worked and what perhaps you have done through maybe these videos or anywhere else that has helped you. So usually, these high achieving women achieve a lot of success because they're fueled by this excellence, this power, this fire. And that when the estrogen and progesterone start to shift this fire energy, it starts to lose its container. Literally, when you're going through your periods through the years, the body knows that it's going to produce estrogen and progesterone. Now, what happens here is that from an Ayurvedic standpoint, estrogen is sort of like the cooling stabilizing system. It is the quality that it gives it so that everything keeps moving because it comes at a certain time. So everything else follows. And it keeps the pitta, that fire element, contained. It's burning safely within this container. So what happens when estrogen declines? These walls start coming down. Now, pitta is going everywhere. It starts to spread because there's no containment. When there is pitta fire present, it means that there is logic, there's a process oriented way of a structure happening. And of course, in this containment, every month there's a cycle and it's a repeated cycle. So the body already knows what to do. But when things start shifting, the hormones start shifting, the body's like, well, what's going on? Aren't we supposed to have the estrogen coming in now, a progesterone? If you have a rhythm to go to the office or you're doing your household chores every day, you know that there's in throughout the structured day, you're going to do such and such and such with timeliness. And when that timeliness is off, you know how much chaos happens in your life. People don't show up or things don't move the way they're supposed to. So it's very important to have this timeliness with the structure. Now, that structure is gone during perimenopause or is shifting to go away. And this is the time when you have to realize that now you are moving into your wisdom years. Ladies, this is what's happening. This can be a very difficult physiological and psychological transition for a lot of people. It impacts your families, it impacts your loved ones. And one other thing I want to say, when this container, this containment is no longer there, and the fire doesn't know where exactly to go, it starts to heat up the system. And of course, that's where hot flashes come from. And also, it intensifies and sharpens all the senses. So now everything feels brighter, everything feels louder, everything feels more intense in every way. So the chewing that you're hearing is like it's amplified because you can hear everything. And it's like, what do I do? So when these sensory receivers, they're coming through with full intensity, you what do? You've got to understand that that's why the sound is louder. That's why the smells are louder. Everything is more intensified. So the nervous system has been destabilized and it needs regulation. And with the vata imbalance, vata is the air and space, you're getting ungrounded more and more. And now it's flooded with this uncontained pitta, which is the fire coming in this ungroundedness. So there's no structure, there's nothing going on. So guess what? This is a time when you create a new structure for yourself. And the result is hypersensitivity. You become hypervigilant and everything is over, the sensory overload is happening. This chewing, that's where it's coming from. So it's not just psychological, it's very much physiological for you. It's a nervous system regulation that needs to happen. And you're when you're always scanning for threat and this input is magnified from around you, your state of mind is completely out of whack. Like you're just all over the place. So the chewing isn't the problem. The problem is your own system being dysregulated. So everything is turned up. So this is the reason why. Okay. So nobody talks about this stuff. And this is actually very common, especially in high achieving women, because this is the kind of fire that has gotten you where you are. this excellence that you have, the success that you have, the career that you have. All of it was this fire drive. But now it's time to slow things down a little bit and go within and listen to what's happening within your system. So, this is not something that's wrong with you. This is just chemistry. These are hormones shifting. Everything is changing in your system. I just want to pause here for a minute because I know the things that I have just said might have landed for some of you. And I just want you to know that I see you. I know because I have seen this with a lot of my women who come to me. And also, I have experienced this myself. When I was going through my 40s, I thought I was going absolutely crazy. I didn't understand. I had a really bad marriage. I had all these things happening, but I didn't understand why I was feeling so bad. And I, just plunged through a lot of things. And fast forward so many years later, I'd lost so much hair. I had gained a lot of weight. I had all these things happen to me and I couldn't figure out why was why was I going through all of this? Like I ate well. I was very stressed. So I thought maybe it was the stress, but it was my body was shifting. And none of the doctors could tell me. I actually took myself into a doctor and I said, I'm having a heart attack. And the doctor did the EKG and they said, no, you're not. You're having an anxiety attack. It was like an aha moment for me at that time because I never had anxiety before. I didn't know that I could experience that. I mean, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. I do all these things, but because of all the things happening externally in my environment and my internal body shifting so much, I couldn't take it anymore. So there comes a time when we all have to pause and just say, I'm okay, and find the tools to make you safe again. So let's get back to that dinner table moment. This isn't about just your partner chewing at the dinner table, but it's about your whole life and how you're being affected by it. You're pulled away from his physical touch, his hand on your shoulder. It feels like this heavy weight coming through. And, intimacy has just gone out the window. And you don't even know what that feels like anymore. And you're feeling guilty about it. And your partner also may feel like rejected or you feel rejected and there's so much miscommunication because nobody understands. Your partner may be walking on eggshells because he's really trying or trying to figure out what's going on and it's just not happening and it's just overwhelming for everyone. And when I say he, I mean anybody's partners. And both of you are missing each other, living under the same roof, or maybe in a relationship for a long time. You're energetically missing each other, and you don't even know how to communicate around it. And this is where a lot of breakups happen because we don't understand the physical body changing about what's happening internally. And we go to the doctor, and the doctor writes you a prescription for anxiety or depression or a sleeping pill, but that's not the solution because there's more to this than meets the eye. Your relationship is not broken. Your nervous system is dysregulated. So let's get right into that. And understanding that, there's something that happens between couples that's for couples therapy. But when you have the power to change things through your food, through your lifestyle, through your diet, that's a physiological change that needs to happen. And when you take care of your physiology, a lot of women, they come back and they report back that their pitta has stabilized and they've been able to actually watch and see when the fire element, they've been able to manage it better through food, their lifestyle, through their diet, and all the little things that they do that they've learned to slow down and take a back seat. And they don't have to come with so much intensity out into the world. And their vata dosha is settled, which means that they're not so ungrounded anymore. They have some structure to their day. They've created new systems for themselves. And there are ways to do that. So you don't have to endure this whole difficult, stressful time all alone, feeling anxiety driven and or provoked and not knowing where to go. And you just push through with willpower even more. No, it's time to just slow down a little bit and use the tools you have. There's so many things out there for you. And this is just one of the things I'm sharing with you. Ayurveda is powerful and it can heal your life and change the trajectory of where you're going. So, with that, I want to give you a protocol for this week. I want to teach you something. So, it's called a Shitali Pranayam. Shitali means cooling, and pranayam is a cooling breath. It's a breathing technique, it's a yogic breathing technique that you can do before dinner, away from everyone else, away from the kitchen. just alone, or you can do it in the morning before you leave your day. Or if you're very stressed out, you can do this. Now, here's how you do it. So, you have to find a place where you can sit with your spine erect because you want to feel the flow of energy moving through your body and cooling your system down. Now, this is a yogic technique, and I'm going to show you this. One way to do it is to roll your tongue like a straw, and you're going to breathe through because it cools this area of your body, of your head, which has heat accumulation with the eyes start burning. There's irritation, there's irritability, but this is the part of the head, the brain, where you feel heat. So it cools it down right away. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to roll your tongue like this and breathe in through the center and bring that air in. And you're going to feel the air, it becomes really cool because your body is intelligent. It knows what it's doing. It's going to bring cool air in and you're going to feel that cool air come in. Then you exhale through the nose. So let's try this together. So roll your tongue and you exhale. And if you can't roll your tongue, the alternative way to do it, and this alternative way is when you can do it at the office or anywhere else where people may not notice what you're doing. But it's rolling the tongue up to the roof of the mouth like that and bring your teeth together. And you're going to breathe through the sides and you exhale through the nose. So let's try it together. So you're breathing through the sides. Roll your tongue up to the roof of your mouth. Bring your teeth together and exhale through the nose. And this is called the Shitali breath, and it cools you down right away. So, of course, you can close your eyes, you can do it. There's more advanced ways of doing it, but I'm giving you the very quick and easy way so you can cool your system down right away. There's two other things I want to tell you before we go. Another way to cool your pitta fire is coconut oil. So, in the last video, I talked a little bit about putting oil at the bottom of your feet. You can use coconut oil because it's cooling. You can apply this oil on the crown of your head before you shower. And sometimes people even leave it overnight and go to sleep because it's very soothing and it feels very grounding to put oil on your body. So, it depends on where you are. But for people who have high heat in their body, I don't recommend putting oil for a long time because it starts extracting out the heat and you want to wash it away. So you want to shower after that. But putting it on your feet and going to bed, that's another story because it's so dry and it pulls the heat. Now, the second thing I wanted to tell you is that make sure that you're not eating too much spicy food. Your focus is more on naturally sweet fruits, cooling foods. You can take aloe vera juice. You can eat fresh fruits. You can go to the local farmers market and see what they've got in stock. And that's a great place to shop. Before we go, I want you to know one thing that I have seen in women in my practice over the years, that irritability that you're feeling is not you. That withdrawal that you feel from your partner is also not you. The version of you that finds his breathing so difficult and the chewing and all of those things that are so annoying is not the final version of you either. So, who is that you are? And that is what you want to explore and find for yourself. And when this fire is out of control, you know that you've got to figure a container for it. These breathing techniques is also building the container. The way you eat is also building that container. So there's so many ways of looking at your body. It's just not that, the heat is coming from inside of you. Nobody knows and you giggle with your friends at work or your girlfriends or your family members and laugh about, "Oh yeah, you too. You've got that hot flash going on. Oh, yeah, I can't sleep at night." Usually women just laugh through it, but this is a serious issue. And I want to help you to rebuild yourself and find that woman who you truly are with the highest potential. You're not too much, you're perfect. You're a woman going through a physiological transition right now. And I hope that these tips and tools can help you in some way to find yourself again. Do this cooling breath this week and apply some coconut oil or anything that works for you And do share with us and tell us what worked for you. I would love to hear your comments. Come back and tell me what worked, what didn't work. And then we'll all know because we're building this community of women together. And especially for us women who have gone through this journey, we want to share this wisdom with the younger women who are going to experience it or are already on that path. So it's very important. Like we have something to share with the younger generation. They are hungry for information now in this world of so much noise. And this is why we want to come back and build out this community. So please subscribe if you want to have more of these videos in your feed and you want to learn more about Ayurveda or perimenopausal symptoms, or share this with some woman that you know that could really use this information. And I will see you next week.